Welcome to my best settings guide for the First Descendant. This guide should help you get some better FPS if you're having issues with that, as well as just making the game clearer overall. So let's get right into it with our options and graphics. So we're going to have graphics on custom, ray tracing off, additional options. This is where you choose what graphics card you have. So personally, I'm going with NVIDIA, and we have DLSS is set to performance. If you're still having issues, you can set it to ultra performance. Moving on from there, VSync is off, NVIDIA Reflex low latency is on, frame generation is off, reconstruction is off. Maximum frame rate, I have this set to 144. You could set it to unlimited. However, ever since people's graphics cards were fried with the new world, I've been careful about setting stuff to unlimited. However, if your display has like a max frame rate, then it's okay to set it to unlimited probably. Moving on to our advanced settings, I have visibility on medium, anti-aliasing on low, post-processing on medium, shadows on medium. You can turn those to low if you want to though. Global illumination is on low, reflections is on low, textures are on high. This is just to make the game look better. If you're still having issues, you could change it down to medium or low. Effects on low, vegetation low, shader quality on medium. Again, you can change it down to low if you want to. Objects and physics are both on low, and then motion blur, definitely have that off. I don't know why it is on by default. I don't know why developers even have it on at all. It makes the game look like trash. It shouldn't be in games. So moving on from our graphics settings, moving to gameplay. Oh, and with the graphics, I mean, you can turn it up if you want to. Like, it doesn't all have to be on low. This is just if you need more FPS. I know especially like with Xboxes and PS5s, people have been having, or I guess just PS5s, people have been having issues with the frame rate. So moving on to gameplay, nothing there with the social that really matters. I haven't changed anything in chat settings either. With the damage display options, I did turn on all the details. You can turn these off if it is annoying. However, having more details is always nice, especially when you're starting out with a game. So you could also like show the status effect on, when you're starting out just to get more information. So moving on to control method, aim control I have on hold. This can be set to toggle to. It's totally personal preference with that. Tarkov players will probably want aim control on toggle, whereas normal Call of Duty people might want it on hold, stuff like that. Sprint control, definitely toggle. Hold is just, you're a masochist if you want to kill your pinky like that and have it on hold. Grappling hook correction, I haven't really messed around with this. Honestly, the grappling hook feels pretty good to use. So moving on to audio, I didn't change too much in here. You can change off like voice chat if someone's being annoying or anything like that, but I think studio reference is just fine. But it doesn't really matter. I'm on headphones is what I'm using, so maybe we'll change it to that. But again, it doesn't matter. I turned off the music just because music in these games can be annoying, but also just for copyright purposes. I don't know what Nexon is on about, so we'll have that off just for now, but you can have it on totally. Moving on from here, we have our display settings. Not much to change here. You can change your field of view. You can turn it up all the way if you want a bigger field of view. However, if you want to be like really zoomed in like that and you want to get like a good photo of your character, you can go like this as well. That is going to make me nauseous though, so we're going to change that back up to like 110 is what I'm going to be running at probably. So moving on from here, I'd have sharpness at 0. For your keyboard and mouse, I actually did change a fair number of their control settings just because they were not the worst, but they weren't great. So normal sensitivity and aim sensitivity I have set to 15. I can change pretty well, especially with how the movement is in this game. You gotta turn around pretty fast and stuff, but you do want to be able to aim. And for reference, I have a mouse that is at 800 DPI, and then I have a pretty big mouse pad though, so you may want to have it higher. And even this is a bit high. I may change it down to 10 later. We'll see. So moving on from here, I didn't change any of those settings. Okay, so I changed sprint to caps lock, and then I changed roll to shift. This just makes it easier on your pinky. Caps lock is where your pinky should naturally sit when you're on the keyboard. So, that's where you're going to need it the most generally. And then roll onto shift. You could actually switch these around where sprint is on shift and where roll is on caps lock and sprint is on shift. That might make more sense just because you probably roll more than you sprint, since sprint is toggleable. Again, it depends on your personal preference. Moving on from here, I didn't change any of those. However, I changed interact from E to F. And then skill 1 I put on my first mouse button, skill 2 I put on my second mouse button, and then skill 3 and 4 I put on Q and E. This just makes the skills easier to use, and I definitely suggest if you have mouse buttons doing this. If you don't, you could put the skills on like ZXCV and then change the rescue teammate to something else that's easy to reach. But I think this should make skills a lot easier than what they had. It just didn't make sense, and this will be a lot easier, I think. And then I have my sub attack on F instead of interact. So moving on from here, I didn't change the previous weapons or anything, or the ring menu. Honestly, I don't think I changed anything here. World map on G is actually pretty decent. If it was on M, I definitely would have changed it, but G is not too bad. So I think that is absolutely fine. Moving on to controller. I didn't change anything here because obviously I use keyboard and mouse. However, if you do use controller, here are the settings for it. I can't really help you, again, because I'm a keyboard and mouse player, but good luck on that. Moving on to account settings, nothing here, so that brings us to the end of our best settings guide for the First Descendant. If you enjoyed, feel free to hit that like button. I'll have a bunch of content coming out over this game in the coming weeks, so feel free to subscribe to catch that. I really appreciate all the support everyone shows, so thank you so much, y'all. I hope y'all are doing great and have a great day. Thanks for watching, y'all.